Guys, what is going on? This is going to be a rather long replay. I think the official runtime of this is about 31 minutes, so I'll try and speed it up a little bit. But this is a 4v4 match on Shogun 2. We are using all of the DLC, so the armies made up in this match are actually both Fall of the Samurai and traditional Shogun 2 armies. It's actually kind of a weird army composition, or team composition, because 3 teams on each side are using Fall of the Samurai armies. Meanwhile, me, Walterdog 12 on the left, and Niebs, the second name on the enemy alliance, are using normal Shogun 2 armies. Now, I'm going to actually throw it in slow motion here real quick to go over all the units. So, as you can see, we're lined up in a normal line, we set up all of our infantry, everything's nice and good. Well, the thing is, I'm at a very big disadvantage here. Well, first off, I don't have any guns, because I'm not using a Fall of the Samurai army. Secondly, I didn't bring any archers. Honestly, I thought that, because I was in the traditional Shogun 2 army, I'd be placed on one of the flanks, but apparently I was wrong on that. I haven't played this game in a long time because my computer wouldn't work. Long story short, my virus software that I had installed wouldn't allow Shogun 2 to run because of the online Wikipedia that you can open up here, as you can see. And I didn't realize that till I uninstalled it. We're going to actually go back into play mode here, or slow motion, I guess. My army composition is very simple. I have, I think, 5 units of these Naginata attendants. They are very cheap units. They're basically, they are basically what you buy when you have a little bit of leftover money, but you don't have enough to get an actual unit. These guys are going to be my meat shield. That's why they're on the front line. I'm just gonna charge them out into the battle and let his riflemen and cannons, which, yes, he has cannons and I do not, I'm gonna let these Naginata attendants take the blunt of everything, and they successfully do, which you'll see. Behind that, I have 4 units of these Naginata warrior monks. I'm hoping I am pronouncing that right. I haven't played this game in a long time, so I forgot my pronunciation on everything. So I have 4 of these Naginata warrior monks. They're pretty good. They don't have very high armor, which kind of my fault to not bring guys with heavy armor, because, you know, we're going against guys with rifles. But they are a very fast, very, I guess, offensive-minded infantry. They don't have much armor, but they're very good at attacking. And behind that, I just have 4 units of these Katana Samurai. They're just default Katana Samurai. They're what you think of when you think of Shogun 2 in Japan. I also brought 4 units of these Katana Cavalry. I brought them just because they are going to be superior than nearly anything the enemy can bring in the Fall of the Samurai DLC in any army composition, besides something like Spear Levy. Besides the infantry, besides the melee infantry, these Katana Cavalry can take on any of the line infantry, which is what these people would be bringing, obviously. After that, I have 2 veteran units. I have Hell's Legion, which is a 4 chevron longsword Ashigaru. I don't know why I have those. And a 4 chevron Katana Samurai. Now, the chevrons mean they're veteran units, so they're pretty good. They are superior than the normal Katana Samurai over here. Now, let's go take a look at the army that I'm going to be going against. So, this is my enemy. I'm actually going to pause it because the fighting starts very fast. Now, he has these Armstrong guns. They're actually a veteran unit of Armstrong guns. They are pretty freaking good. He's setting up on this hill. I actually didn't realize it until he actually starts firing. He can see my men from here. As you can see right here, I'm setting up my men kind of like behind this hill, this little lip in the ground, to hide from his cannons while I wait for my allies to get positioned and whatnot, because I kind of ran forward immediately. Pause it again real quick. Just 1 second. There, my microphone was rubbing against something, I think. Sorry if you heard that. He's got your basic Imperial infantry. He's got a bunch of Red Bear infantry on his right flank, which is going to be my left flank, which is going to be stationed up behind these trees. He's got, let's just go down the line. He's got veteran Imperial infantry, another unit, of Marines, which, if I was him, I would have had them towards the center. I don't know why he had them kind of in the middle of these two armies. He's got another unit of veteran Imperial infantry, and then behind that he has a unit of Red Bears, a unit of Kyoto Police, which are a veteran unit, and he has, of course, his General's Bodyguard. I think he also has, Shogunate Guard infantry, of course. He has a couple hidden units back here, if I remember correctly, but they don't actually play a part in this part of the battle. They don't play a part until later. So, as you can see, he is setting up his cannons, and I actually don't know what to do here. I was going to rush forward with my Katana Samurai, or Katana Cavalry, except he set up his infantry too fast. I thought he was going to approach farther up. So, we're actually going to be looking right here. Those cannons can see me. You can't see them because of the infantry, but actually, I do wonder. No, I was wondering if those would actually hit his own men, but they are not. As you can see, they're kind of destroying my men. I didn't realize they could hit me from behind this little hill, but I probably should have assumed that. And I'm going to make the mistake of running my men back between these men, and ew. That was not very good. Lots of injured men. Lots of dead men. So, knowing either I sit here and let his cannons decimate me, which they kind of already have. I mean, I lost 30 Katana Samurai just from that one cannon shot. I bum rush my men forward. On the left flank here, I sent up a Naginata attendant to just kind of soak up the fire. I'm doing it on the entire front now. Also rushed forward this Katana Cavalry, who is going to get the side charge here. So this unit is now locked up, basically, besides for a couple shots they're getting off. This left flank here, I'm going to actually go ahead and pause it real quick. On this left flank, I'm just holding for as long as I can. He is sending over his soldiers. As you can see, he's got his Yari Samurai and whatnot over here, and Katana Samurai. This side just needs to hold for as long as possible. This Naginata attendants are already routing. This Katana Samurai, or Katana Cavalry, I don't know why I keep on saying that, they just have to hold for about 45 seconds while my men reach their lines and rout them. As you can see, my Naginata attendants are doing exactly what I wanted them to do. Men are running from the battlefield, that's just from over there. They're doing exactly what I wanted them to do. They are soaking up all the bullets, so my men are getting through nearly completely unharmed. So my men are just going to charge right in. These not surprisingly, not surprisingly, he pulled his men back a little bit, but I'm still going to catch a ton of his men. If I was smart, I would not have ran my warrior monks in front of him. I didn't realize he was firing from there. But as you can see, they're getting destroyed. They're getting cut down very fast. But they are going to make contact with the line and just decimate them. Back on this back line, my infantry is basically just running through them. On the left flank here, which is what we'll focus on for just a second, I took a Naginata warrior monk and I swept them down the hill. And I immediately followed that up with I'm bringing in my veteran unit of Katana Samurai, who should be able to take on these units over here. I also brought up another unit of Katana Cavalry, just to kind of mob them up. I mean, as you can see, though, he rebuilt his line, which is not good. I'm going to quickly run in with my units, just try and get it so he can't fire. And this unit's running. We are basically just running. I am going to make contact with his general's bodyguard. I don't think I kill his general right here. He is going to be able to run away in time. But this battle, I have taken the center. This guy over here is now completely cut off. And my ally is just going to be able to take them out. As you can see, these archers have no chance. They are just going... I mean, they're just getting decimated. Watch one more volley, and then we'll switch back over to the actual fighting. Yeah, they're already routing. You can see he's going to get one nice little charge with Yari Key, but I don't know why he charged those Marines. He should have charged the actual big group there. Anyways, back on the left. Let me pause this once again to explain what's going on. So, the guy that I was going up against, I don't know how to pronounce that. I'll just call him the dude in the middle that I was going up against, or my opponent. He fell back. Most of his units were destroyed here, as you can see from the bodies and whatnot. Not really that many bodies, but you understand what I mean. He basically retreated all of his men, and because his men didn't have as far to run, you know, they had to run from about here back to here. My men have ran from this river all the way back to where my general is. So my men are slowly getting more and more tired. And I made the mistake of running my men after them. So we're going to go back into play. Both of these units, I'm not going to watch them because the fighting takes place over here. But both of these units are going to end up routing because they are chasing them. And by the time I realize they're chasing them, they're so far in. My men are routing. We'll just pause this because the fighting actually happens pretty fast over here. But by the time I realize that my men are still chasing and don't have any hope of catching them, as you can see, they're already tired. By the time I turn around, they just turn around and fire. So both of these units of Katana Samurai are going to be decimated, basically. This guy he was very smart, as you see. I'm already pulling him away a little. Let's go focus on this left flank. So, up in here, it's kind of just it's just a giant mob of infantry. I'm going to throw it into slow motion just so I can actually see what's happening. On the far right, I'm throwing my Naginata warrior monks right into the fray with his Yari Samurai and Spear Levy. My guys should be able to handle them, but they're going to get badly damaged. On this left flank, he threw in a bunch of Katana Kachi and whatnot, and Lone Sword Ashigaru, and his general's bodyguard, Avatar's bodyguard, whatever you want to call it. My men, they're kind of fighting on two fronts. They're getting shot at from these Tosa riflemen from the distance, and my veteran unit is going at them. However, because of this, this Tosa rifleman group did extremely well this fight. As you can see, the general just fell. This Tosa rifleman group, I think I was looking at the stats at the end of the game. They got over 700 kills. So, they were unstoppable. I mean, that's just the truth of it. They were unstoppable. I made the mistake of just mobbing my units. As you can see, he won the fight on this left flank here. He's kind of doing some cleanup with his general's bodyguard? I don't know what this is. Generals, I've never actually seen that unit before. Huh, okay. Anyways, as you can see, I've lost this fight on here. I'm slowly pulling all of my men back. I'm pulling them back behind this tree line to wait for my allies. As you can see, this is what I meant. My Katana Samurai are just going to get massacred. Last of the Samurai, almost. And they're just going to run away. So I'm going to actually turn my focus on this Red Bear infantry over here. But my guys aren't strong enough. My guys are just... They're not fast enough. They're too weak. They're just going to be outran and turn around and just kill them. So I lost the fighting over here. We're actually going to kick it in just a second. We actually... The one thing I don't understand I'm actually being very stupid here. I'm sorry about that. As you can see, I lost the fighting over here. I, stupidly, a bunch of my units routed and then immediately stopped routing. While I was micromanaging all my units back here, trying to get them set up away from cannon fire, I didn't realize my men had stopped routing up here. Like this Hell's Legion and the Katana Samurai over here that you saw earlier. I didn't realize they stopped routing, so they just got destroyed. As you can see, I mean, it is just a giant mound of death. And these Tosa riflemen continue to fire like crazy. I wish there was a way to see the unit stats. Oh yeah, he also has a bow hero, which I did not realize till the very end of this fight, because I don't think he used them like at all. He used them like this just to take pot shots, but he actually didn't use them in the fight at all. He just used them to like pick off retreating infantry, which I guess is kind of what they're used for, or you can use them as well. Now on the right flank here, my ally, I'm sorry I can't show you all of this, but too much happens at one time in a 4v4 battle. So if you want, I can go back and show you what my allies did, but I'm assuming you'd be more interested in what I'm doing. Not right now, but you'll see. Actually going to throw it in the pause once again to explain some stuff. So on this far right flank, my ally defeated the person that he was going up against. I have defeated the person I was going up against, somewhat. He still has a bunch of infantry still alive because he ran them away. He is basically at this point, we are going to win, but it's at the point where it just matters on how long it's going to take. So on the left flank here, I don't think there's been any fighting whatsoever. I'm serious on that. I don't think there was any fighting because none of his men are injured. They're actually all in hiding, basically. They're just, as these guys got hurt, got injured a little bit, they had 6 deaths. Basically, his men sat over here and did a little standoff against these dudes, which never really moved. He just, basically, while the right side was fighting, the left side over here was in a micromanagement battle where I think this guy, Janaris, was trying to outflank him, and my ally, Ying Zhang... Okay, so Ying Zhang was kind of in the middle here. Two allies actually came together here to defend the left flank. They just kind of kept on reforming the line until they got to the point where if they wanted to flank, they were going to have to go all the way around and take up way too much time. Now, I'm talking a lot. Let's go ahead and throw it back into play. As you can see, it's kind of just long-range fights now. It's kind of like an infantry glob at this point. I am Oob. As you see, ambush. It's just a bunch of hidden units coming out of these trees here. It's nothing like weird. He also, I don't know why, I don't know how, he has a unit of infantry back here. I think these are the units that can deploy anywhere on the battlefield, but he didn't do anything with them. He just placed them back here, and I think he was just walking them up. I honestly think he set them up way back in the far corner and just walked them up this fight, because they disappeared again. They're gonna keep on reappearing, but they're gonna get quickly destroyed by these white bears, who are pretty severe. It's pretty superior in an open fight. Now, I'm still reforming my men. Actually, in the way back here, I'm taking Katana Cavalry, and I'm trying to go for his Armstrong guns, but both of these enemies, both the guy I was going against and Janaris, see that I'm going for the guns, so he is going to quickly, and I mean quickly, throw all of his infantry around these guns to protect them. So that mission is kind of a no-go at this point. I can't do that without... Basically, if I charge... An ambush, yeah. I freaked out right there because I thought he had a, like, Yarikachi or something like that in these woods, and they would have destroyed my Katana Cavalry. Now, At this point, while I am micromanaging my men and getting them set up, bringing them over this way with my ally to finish up this flank, I'm focusing on this cavalry unit. I just want to run them around back here so that the enemy has to always be looking at what I'm doing. Now, the plan is I'm going to bring him over this way and back into this area and just try and get it so this guy has to back off, send one of these units back. And that successfully works, but that works at a later date. Now, I am talking a ton, and my jaw is starting to hurt because I've been talking for over 20 minutes, I think. I don't know, I can't really tell time. We're actually going to speed this up a little. Actually, no, we're not, because that causes terrible lag. We're going to go into ×2 a little bit. As you can see, it's just going to be a bunch of skirmishes. I'm slowly moving my guys up. He's slowly moving his guys up. The flank is still secure. The enemy has their flank secured. He is going to just... It's basically going to be a back and forth battle. My infantry, or my cavalry in the back here, is just still running around. He actually brought over a unit of saber cav, which I thought he was going to charge me with, but he actually didn't. So I'm very surprised with that. As you can see, at this point, go ahead and unpause it, or go back to normal speed. The fighting is starting to commence. I don't think he has enough infantry. He has Imperial infantry, which is pretty good, but these Marines are a little bit superior in my opinion. He doesn't have the numbers, but he has the flank. He has the flank advantage. He also has these red bears if he has to throw them in. So this is where it actually gets interesting. My ally on the left here, this Yaz, or Ying, I'll just refer to him as Ying to make it easier. He actually has these Tosa riflemen that are hidden down in this little field, or at least they were, so the enemy didn't know that they were here. So he is actually going to come over here and rebuild the flank. I think what they were hoping was that they could outflank his men here, but they don't see my men in here. Of course, my men aren't the fastest, so it's not like I could run right up in here and outflank him before he could move. But he is making a major mistake right here. He is moving his men in, not only on this hill to where he can't even aim, but he's moving them in an attempt to outflank, which he has successfully outflanked, but so is these white bear infantry that he's snuck up through the creek, or river, whatever you want to call it. They're just calling it shallow water. So as you can see, my allies have not abandoned me. One of them is just routing because he outflanked them. As you can see, Ying is going to bring up some units on the left flank. He's bringing up some riflemen. It actually is enough riflemen that, because they're Tosa riflemen, so they have the range, they're going to be able to take him on. And as you can see, my ally has formed a nice little funnel right here that there are no muskets where I'm standing. Basically, I don't know if this was intentional or not. He created a little funnel where my men are going to be able to run through, which you will see in just a second when his infantry gets up on the line here. Basically,
a unit has grown weary, sir.
Etc., etc. He moves his men over a little bit. On the left flank, he has moved forward. I am doing hit and runs with my katana cavalry. He, for some reason, is bringing over it actually is a bow general, so he is going to be able to do damage, but not much at all. This left flank here, they're basically turtling back as far as they can. But let's focus on this right flank. Completely on this right flank. As you can see, the Tosa riflemen, they have the numbers, they have the range. This unit that has been... There are two units here. The Tosa Rifleman 4 and Tosa Rifleman 5. I don't know what. Strelky, whatever he named it. They're now gone. And as you can see, this is the little funnel I was talking about. He has his infantry over here, which is firing up here, and this infantry, which is firing up at them. Which has left me a perfect gap to just run up here, and his cannons are going to quickly turn on me. But I have the numbers, I have the speed, because my men are rested now. Ow. I am sorry about that. That was disgusting. I feel like I'm going to vomit now. I actually wonder how that sounded on the recording. That was... ugh. I don't know what that was. I think I just tried to cough and I sneezed at the same time. And I burped. I'm extremely sorry about that, but I am not going to redo a 25-minute video or however long this is. So, he's going to run up his Kyoto police, but my Naginata attendants are going to take the blunt of his charge. And then my Naginata warrior monks are just going to follow it up immediately.
Unit is running from the battlefield, sir.
Unit running from the battlefield, etc., etc. As you can see, this fight is basically over. We're just collapsing on him at this point. We're actually going to kick it up to a little bit faster speed. My men are going to bum rush these cannons. I probably should have put them in a better formation, but luckily he doesn't get a cannon shot off on me.
The enemy general is dead.
Enemy general is dead. His men, my ally, is actually going to fire upon me, trying to take out these Kyoto police, so I'm going to run my men off as fast as I can. And at this point, the game is over. There is only... well, technically there are two enemies left, but this one guy only has his general's bodyguard, which is the bow unit that was just basically running all over the place. And I'm going to basically say, screw it, I'm going to do what I have to. He was going to set up his Marines, and I think his... yeah, he has 2 units of Marines, and... oh, he has 3 units of Marines still alive. He was just going to set up his Marines and open fire on these Katana Kachi that were going to charge him. So I did the only thing I knew how to do. I took my Katana Cavalry and basically kept on... I kept on going back and forth until I knew that he was going to actually be forced to aggro onto me. So I was going to get a rear charge on his United States Marines, but he had to run back and bring his Spear Levy and General Bodyguard over. In doing so, that gave my ally time to rush up his Katana Kachi and his Tosa Riflemen over here and get shots on him, and basically force this United States Marine unit to run for their lives. But they are going to get... his Royal Marines are up, but he's actually going to run his Yari Key right into him. They're not even going to fire at him. As you can see, this battle is over. I'm going to get a very nice rear charge with this Katana Cavalry. As you can see, nice little Shogun 2 glitch. My men are going to just decimate his Marines. So that's basically the end of the fight. He's going to get a rear charge with the general, but they're going to rout nearly immediately, and then he's going to get another charge with his general's bodyguard here. And their general's... whatever you want to call it. They're both going to rout nearly instantly. So the battle is over. My men never really got into the final combat fight. My general did nothing this fight. I don't think he got a single kill. But that's okay. So that's it for now, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this fight. I'm sorry it was so chaotic. It was a 4v4. I couldn't show everything on the fight. So hopefully it was entertaining. Hopefully it was interesting. In the future, I am going to attempt to get more of these videos, but there are not a lot of people still playing Shogun 2 online. This is probably my favorite Total War, just because of the online mode and how freaking like detailed it is, and just how they organize the online. So I am going to try and get more videos. I cannot do Rome 2 because I don't have any of the DLC, and the only people still playing that have DLC for the multiplayer, which I don't. And the same kind of goes for Attila. I can't really play that because I don't have any of the DLC. Well, I have some of it, but not much of it, and online is just full of people playing with DLC. So that is it, guys. Look forward to videos at the end of the week, and I'll talk to y'all later.